Hello everyone, Lunchbox5930 here with a deck profile of a deck that I wanted to build for a while when the cards were first revealed in Japanese. This is an 8 gold bar, don't be surprised it's an 8 gold bar, Fate Grand Order deck themed around Ozymandias and Nitocris. This deck is pretty fun to play and there's a lot of fun interactions and, what the hell, moments that happen when playing this deck. This is basically a stock acceleration type turbo deck, and by the end of the game, if everything goes well, you're gonna have hella stock around your level 3. Major shout out to friend of the channel Yume, who literally sent me all of the cards that I needed for this deck. You're a real one, and I appreciate the giant box you put it in for the little tiny deck box. And as well, thank you for the deck box, really appreciate it. Brown is beautiful, and with that out of the way, let's get going. We're starting off with the level 0s first. We are running 2 Confrontation against a strong Sanzang. She is on play from hand. You shuffle 2 characters from your waiting room back into your deck, and then she could side attack with no penalty. And she is also a drop search. So if there is something in your waiting room that you need, just shuffle it back into the deck, search it out. You don't need to do the second effect, but the no penalty when siding is pretty nice. 2 reason for the Good Mood Da Vinci is on play, you mill 2, and if you mill the climax, you minus 1k to an opponent's character on the center stage, and on play, pay 1 climax swap. I like running at least 2 of these in my deck as a just in case. Provocative Gaze Nitocris states that during your turn, if you have another character, this card gains 3k power, and on attack, you pay 1 twin drive. Solid offensive card in the power department, and the twin drive is super useful in this deck. You can rush your opponent and damage as well as keep your stock clean, and if you trigger a gold bar, it really isn't a problem because of a card that we're going to talk about a little later. Also, the flavor text. Pharaoh's Divine Authority Ozymandias states that during your opponent's turn, if all of your characters are Chalia or Camelot, which Camelot is the set trait, so it's not really an issue there, this card gains a level and 1k5 power. Now this is a great offensive card because it gains a level, your opponent can side attack at level 0, and it's at 4k power as well. It's a damn good card, and you could sit on these as your walls. Also, it goes around level 0 bombs. Solid. Rescue of the World Ozymandias is the card that is going to live in your back row. This gives all of your Pharaoh characters clock encore, and when you trigger a gold bar, you could ditch a card, salvage a card from your clock, and then you put the top card of your deck to your clock. This needs to get on the field as quickly as possible. This is your hand fixer. When you trigger a gold bar, you could ditch the bar so your hand isn't clogged up, and then you could salvage something that you need from your clock. This works well with the twin drive Nitocris's. Also, your clock encore is super nice because your level 3 combo needs some hand fodder, and this saves your hand by keeping things on your board for your next turn. Again, get this on the field ASAP. So there is actually no Brainstormer in the deck because we run Ancient Queen of Heaven's Nitocris. She is an act. Pay 1, ditch a climax, you salvage a character, and resonate. Pay 1, reveal your level 3 Ozymandias, which is this one right here. Rest this card. Top check up to 3, add a character, then you mill the rest. Now you do need to get used to the playstyle of not having a Brainstormer, but there are a variety of different ways to get the Ozymandias in your hand, so that really isn't that big of an issue. It is a learning curve, and also if your hand is riddled with climaxes, it's gold bar. They'll just magically show up in your hand. You could pay 1, ditch a climax to salvage a character. You can do this as many times as you want. I wish it was a Brainstormer, but we run 4 of these. Level 1. Magnanimous Like the Sun Ozymandias is an anti-early drop clock bomb. I run 1 because, again, there are multiple ways to grab this card if I really need it. The Sun King's Holy Grail is a level downer that is free. Great against standby targets. You can salvage it using your level 0 hand fixer from your clock, but that's basically it. When playtesting it, I somehow always had this card in my hand. I don't know how I did it. This is especially good in your level 3 because you're guaranteed the reverse, so keep this in mind. We'll get to this a little later. Delivery of an unneeded item. Nito is a 1/1 that cannot be reversed by cost 0 characters, and when another character attacks, this gains 1k power. So if it attacks last, it's going to be at 7k power, and it goes around level 1 bombs. Yeah, there's a lot of standbys running around that are pay 1 or pay 2, but still, this does come in handy in certain matchups. One of my personal favorite cards is Where Justice Is. Sanzang is an on reverse. If you have a climax in play, you blind stock. So it's just on reverse blind stock. It's any climax, play whatever, does not matter. The blind stock is a little rough, but you could play the next card to keep your stock clean, which is, as a Pharaoh, Nitocris states that if your characters are all green or Chaldea, this gains 1k power, and on attack, pay 1 twin drive. And climax combo. On attack, if you have To the Land of Eternity in play, which is this gold bar right over here, you may choose a green or a Chaldea character in your waiting room and you place it in your stock. The climax is a 1k1 and a gold bar when triggered. So you are thinning out your waiting room, which is pretty nice, and the twin drive is really nice, especially when you're not afraid to trigger a gold bar because there are ways to fix it. And you could use the white lady to get a reverse blind stock, pay off the blind stock with the Nitocris. There, clean stock. There's nothing better than having clean stock, except the love and acceptance of your father, but since we're never gonna feel that, clean stock is the next best thing. Level 2s. They're actually level 2s. I'm actually as surprised as you are. We're gonna talk about our early drop at the level 2. Compassionate Mage Queen Nitocris is a 4 or more character early drop. She gains 500 power for each card in your back row and bottom clock heal. Pretty standard. She's cute. Moving on. The God King. Whoa, man, hold up. Slow down. You could only pick one. Has Alarm. At the start of your climax phase, if this is on the top card of your clock and you have 4 or more characters, you can blind stock and act. Rest this card. Choose a green or Chaldea character and they gain 3k power for the turn. And act. Put the standing card into your waiting room. Choose one of your Sun King Ozymandias, which is the 3/2 over here, and put this card face up underneath it as a marker. We will get to that effect later, but heads up, this is the only way to get markers under that Ozzy. So the blind stock is nice, not super needed, but it is a nice option to have. We only run 2 because, again, multiple ways to grab this card. Whoa, jump cut. How to fix this? Thank you 212dead. Go follow their YouTube channel and on Instagram, please. Now, Guardian of the Egyptian region Nitocris is a level 3 assist, 2k forward, and if you're level 2 or higher, this card gains the following ability. Act. Pay 1, ditch a card, rest this card, and choose a God King Ozymandias, which is the previous card that we just talked about, this one right here, from your waiting room, and you put it onto the stage. So, like I mentioned, we only run 2 of these because there are multiple ways to get this, you know, in your hand, or you could just call it onto the field using the Nitocris effect. Now, you don't need these 2 cards on the field for the level 3 combo to pop off, but believe me, it definitely helps, and it's a nice just in case. And here is our finisher, the Sun King Ozymandias. He is on play, heal. I know, broken. And when this card has a face-up marker, this card gains 6k power and climax combo. On reverse, if you have... Oh man, I want to mess this up. Hold up. Ramesium Tenturus. Ramesium Tenturus? I think that's what this is? I don't know, dude. I work with 3 and 4 year olds. Give me a break. You can pay 2, ditch 2, clock shoot, then you burn 2. The climax is a 1k1 and a gold bar when triggered. Now, what is great is that these 2 cards here do give this card power, so you're basically going to be guaranteeing the reverses. Another good combo is that you could use the Holy Grail to level down a character, so you could get some easy reverses that way. And if you actually use this, you don't really need to worry about this card's marker effect. But the marker one is actually kind of like a 2-turn setup. Now, that is definitely a knock against it, but on climax, with a marker underneath it, this card is gonna be at 18k power. That is right, 18k with a marker. Now, the downside, like I mentioned, this is the only way to get a marker underneath this card, which, alright, understandable. Like, 18k is pretty big. Now, the actual effect itself is pretty good. It's not that bad. It is pretty heavy on stock and on hand, but you pay the cost after you trigger. So you're gonna have at least 1 stock at the end of this card's attack. The hand is more of the concern. You are running gold bars, so there are ways to refill your hands with climaxes, which there are valid targets when you ditch. That is why you run the twin drives. So you hit for 3, plus whatever you trigger, you clock shoot, then you burn 2. That is 3 instances of damage equaling to 6. That is almost a whole level in 1 attack. So if your opponent is like pretty empty on climaxes in their deck, it's basically lethal. And there we have the deck. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. I love playing gold bar. I don't know why, but I love playing gold bar, and this deck is damn fun. When it goes right, it goes right. And when you are Soul Rush, the recovery is rough. There are ways to go through your deck, but milling isn't this deck's strongest point, if I'm going to be completely honest. If you are concerned about the milling and you want to net deck this, I don't know why you'd want to copy this deck, but you totally can. But if you are concerned about the milling, you could run the White Lady Climax combo. It's a pretty damn good Climax combo. And honestly, if it wasn't themed around Pharaohs, I'd probably switch it out for the White Lady. But I wanted this deck to be more of a stock acceleration and stock intensive deck. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Thank you to all of my channel members scrolling up over here. They're helping me build the 24 Choice Tokyo Revengers deck next. But again, major shout out to Yume. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you all, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.